because it was the last pick as the Queen. We should go for a standard the orb build, and if game does drag out long enough, will we get the Bloodthorn?
Good question. The Bloodthorn is such an odd item. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, that's really, really good. Then I got it one game on Sven, which is probably not the best tier for it. But it doesn't seem to be enough for cost, because so few heroes get Orchid anyway. And then I think it's really good if you have an Orchid and you get all your other items, you just up that slot. You don't have to do Orchid anymore, you have a natural upgrade. I think it's really good in that context. But thinking about Bloodthorn as like a third item or second
10
item on
seconds remaining.
campaign, I think still going like Orchid Ags, for example, is better than upgrading it.
I agree. To me, it's kind of like a ultra late game pickup because it is a 7k item.
Yeah,
it is
so expensive.
And I think the item is not just really picked for yourself as how you pick up crit items normally.
Yeah.
It's mostly for your team as well. So imagine if, let's say, suddenly your Enchantress Impetus as well as your Juggernauts are critting in the late game.
Yeah.
I think that might be the big deal.
The one problem with the item, though, is because it's such a late game item, it's kind of countered by BKB and Manta, just like Orchid. And one of the things about Orchid is the timing. You know, if you're fighting against an anti-mage, for example, it's all about, can we get the Orchid before he gets Manta and find some effective use out of it. With Bloodthorn, you're pretty much guaranteed there's going to be BKBs out by the time you get it. So
that was my initial thought as well, but you could make the argument that when Bloodthorn is picked up, it is late enough. BKB charges are down to 5 seconds.
Okay, all right.
Only that's where it gets really good, right? Again.
Yeah.
So
I didn't really think of that, but that's an interesting one to look at.
And the other thing about Bloodthorn is that this lower the cooldown of your what's it called, Suns effect.
So right.
You can possibly use it twice in the team.
I think it's like an 11-second cooldown. It's actually really short. That is one of the best parts about the item. It's another good point.
All right, so enough of Bloodthorn. We're probably not going to see it for a long time, but we will see quite a bit of ward being dropped down here from both sides.
Yeah, I mean, now TPs are such cheap. We're seeing more often teams having a support just right away TP in and get wards down as quickly as possible. You see a lot of these teams blocked out here.
And you do see actually the cores looking up the bounty rune side already on the top river, looking to pick that one up. I imagine Tiny the one for them because he is so inherently dependent on the bottle, so he does need the 100 gold.
Yeah.
So now I personally like it more. There's much more of decision making in terms of who picks up the rune, whereas it used to be just like both mid heroes like, all right, let's go for our respective bounty and stuff.
I agree. The addition of bounty runes took me away from used to, but I think been good for Dota, eliminating that RNG in the mid lane where it used to be just, oh, I got a rune, you got nothing. Sorry, enjoy ferrying that bottle back. Definitely help level things out a bit. Lane's looking to be fairly straightforward here, though, Lumi. Lich is going to start in the mid lane to help out Tiny. It'll be RTK off lane on the Tidehunter, and then just some safe lane carries, farming away with a support off lane. Doom once more. It'll be played now again this game.
All right, so the thing I want to point out is that his got blocked.
Yeah.
So it's actually a big deal because when he goes to the other camp to find his creep, I believe it also got blocked. So, well, Vici doing a very good job to shut down Yao.
Yep, and I'm getting a little slideshow here, but hopefully these packets find themselves and come back. A Wild Wing Ripper now in the mid lane. Looks like Burning's just going to keep it here, and Tornado's already been canceled, but very irritating, that Tornado from the Wild Wing Ripper, especially in these early levels.
+3 armor, man.
Yeah.
That aura.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Doing work. Meanwhile, Yao in the top lane really being forced out. In fact, the Lion just giving him the right click despite the fact that Scorcher has been used. He's not going to die to it or anything. I say that though. Looks like HYM chasing it.
The fact that for comfort.
The fact that you forced him to get Scorcher at level 1, like normally you see Doom at this point in the game, he's level 2.5, looking to hit 3.
Yeah.
But the 2 wards and the fact that the physical harass is coming in is just really doing a lot of work.
Yeah, this is really brutal, and he's going to start running low on regen here. He's got 1 Tango left, no mana regen, and Scorcher. This is on a pretty long cooldown, 55 seconds, so only every so often that he'll have that reset ability.
Well, I think this lane is done for the Doom, like honestly. Well, where does he grab the creep? I guess he has to wait until the Sentry Ward dies out.
I think he needs to just rotate into the jungle at this point. Get some boots, move yourself into the jungle, and at least farm something.
Yeah. Well, he is level 2 now, I guess. Now he could grab a creep, and again, he'll see that this camp is blocked. He will get a bounty ring. Did not that as well. I'm back in the here. Queen of Fate dropping really low, but we'll be able to self back up.
Yeah, so it's a good start for Vici here, especially burning in the jungle. He's already killed 7 creeps, picks up a Centaur Conqueror. Slow and steady, but a lot of efficiency here. Yao trying to grab a creep, but this is going to cost him possibly his life. Stun comes out from the line. There's stun from the Centaur. Scorched Earth is just not enough, and it'll be burning the Draw of First Blood. Kind of handed to him on a silver platter, really.
Yeah. He didn't even have to go find him. It's like,
yeah,
just coming to my jungle. All right.
Very good. Well, there you go. Great stuff for Vici out of the gate.
That is going to give him the jump start to the drums. Dragonlance build that we see a lot, you know, Enchantress going for. We'll see if he's going to be going for that build as well.
Yeah.
And there's an upgrade towards the Hurricane Height.
I think so. Down the RT initiated on here. Open Wounds comes out from Rabbit. A lot of right clicks. Frostbite gets taken off by the Kraken Shell, but he's still pretty damn low. It's like watching a PowerPoint presentation of Tide moving through the trees. Looks like RTK will have the fancy footwork.
Picks up the Ring of Regen. Look at that kind of value.
Dude, look at this guy. Uh-oh, another Frostbite comes out. ROTK, man, he's going to be all right.
He's fine.
Well played.
He's good.
All right, well, I'm going to cut back to us. See if that fixes.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Against the Tiny.
Yeah, at least Tiny has a way to interrupt it via range, but yeah, it's definitely still annoying.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we're back in here, so a little better. Only time will tell. I don't want to jinx it. How's Tiny doing in the way of farm? 16 last hits compared to the 19 of Queen of Pain, so all things considered, it's going pretty evenly. Guardian is still just lingering around, so he is leeching some experience, though doing a good job moving in and out of the lane, and Tiny is really not too far behind. Almost level 5 compared to the Quap, who is just now hit 5, so it's a small disparity.
Bottom lane looks like we had a fail rotation from the Vici supports coming into. Not really get a kill, but I imagine they saved ROTK with a TP or something like that, but...
Yeah. Looks like it. 4 heroes from CDEC, though. They are ready to ride. Let's take a look at Dire Vision here, and they see Yao actually just standing there, really behind a tree. Not the sneakiest rotation, but they don't see Guardian. He'll come over. Frost Blast, not going to be usable. Can't get in range, and that awkward gank attempt from CDEC will be a backfire.
Well, to be fair, Doom wasn't doing anything, like, on the map either, so...
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, they at least forced the supports to rotate to bottom lane, so now Yao knows that Sylar is up all alone, and he might be able to at least get close to the creeps to absorb some XP. Maybe even get a couple of last hits of his own.
Yeah, so Sylar is going to go for the standard build. I wonder if there's going to be some sort of different transition, because normally it's just like, what, S and Y. Sorry, not S and Y, Battle Fury, sometimes S and Y.
Battle Fury into S and Y is fairly common. Oh, ROTK, he actually gets hit by the shockwave there, and that might be enough to set up this kill. A few more right clicks is all they need. They're not going to find him. 2 points in Kraken Shell going to really help. HYM now in a lot of trouble.
HYM threw his life away. I mean, the open wounds was going to go on ROTK, and that would have set up the kill, but...
Yeah.
HYM threw his body in there and saving his...
He's actually going for 3 points in the Kraken Shell, so he's like the extra beefy Tidehunter now.
And he needs it here against Lifestealer.
Yeah.
Back River super in a lot of trouble here as he does toss the Avalanche and will TP out, no stun available. Yeah. The God's Creep.
That Mud Golem. Yeah. I like the change they made to Mud Golems. Now it's actually worth picking up for Doom, or Enchantress, even Lifestealer to hop inside of.
Yeah.
One of the better creeps now, actually.
It was actually my favorite creep to hop inside as a Lifestealer for a level 6 gank.
Yeah.
Because you Bodo Toss, you Infest, and then you have double Bodo Toss after that, and that's actually quite a bit of magic damage early on.
Yeah. And they also can't slow you down. You're completely immune to spells.
Yeah.
So RTK is definitely having a much better time in this off lane, though. He is getting close to level 6, halfway through 5, and keeps a basic farm, 19 last hits, nothing crazy, but definitely better than what the Doom has been getting.
I think Vici Gaming, once they have Tidehunter at level 6, CDEC just can't go for tower dives anymore. Because imagine, like, you tower dive and somebody's TP Ravage comes in, RTK might be in a little bit of trouble again. He's got 3 points into Kraken and even a Magic Wand.
Yeah. He is hard to kill at this stage. That extra armor from the tower, adding insult to injury. Juggernaut level 7 though, so Omni Slash is available. Perhaps a possibility for a kill here. Thinking about it as Yao gets stunned. but
He backs off.
doesn't commit.
So, I think last time in this point in game, that's where the Doombringer picked up a infused raindrops.
Yeah, right around this time.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like a thing that off lanes would do, right? Because as an off laner, you just get dove, and you get killed a lot of times.
Yeah.
So it is a fairly defensive item for a relatively cheap cost.
Yeah, this game there isn't really so much that's going to rotate where that would be the difference maker. I mean, yeah, Lion's Finger, but he's only level 3. His magic damage isn't really too scary right now. Enchantress has a lot of right clicks. It looks like Burning's actually going to go for a greedy Midas build. He just went Gloves of Haste.
There's a dive on the mid lane here. Queen of Pain went under the tower with the double damage, but looks like was forced to blink back out. Salving himself back up, though.
Yeah. Yep, Quap will be fine. But Burning's getting a lot of space now. He's really just free farming to his heart's content. Not really much CDEC can do to slow him down right now.
I like Animatus on Enchantress.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think people get a little too caught up in the use of Midas and sometimes forget about the heroes that really benefit from that attack speed, like Spirit Breaker, for example, Enchantress. It's even more of a value item, even though that's kind of what it's designed for.
Oh, I think the slow game does favor Vici Gaming because to me, they're the team that really benefits from picking up key items. We talked about the ROTK mech. Juggernaut, whatever he gets, probably a battle period considering the fact that this game is going very slowly. And I imagine Queen of Pain is going to go for Orchid, although you can be argument that maybe Agonist is a little bit better survivability. Scan goes off, and it misses.
Oh, another failed scan. You know, Lion has gone for the movement speed build here, Lumi. Round boots, Windlace, TP scroll at level 3.
Hey man, upgrade that to Tranquils.
He's cruising.
Moving fast. I don't know what the exact movement speed is, but I know when you get Windlace and Tranquil on Lich, you're moving at 420.
Wow, really?
You're blazing it.
Oh, what a memer. Tiny with a haste rune in the bottle, looking for an opportunity, but again, Vici are just, it reminds me of like old Cloud9. They're just so good choosing when to take fights and backing out. Ravage used by ROTK defensively, but now goes in on the super. He does have some support inbound. In comes the Queen Pain, stunned by the Tiny. Rabbit goes in deep. Sonic Wave is available, but CCY is just looking for the angle.
Oh!
It's a complete whiff. My God, he's going to end up paying with his life. They'll get ROTK with a toss. It's a twofer, and CDEC come out big. Now Sylar comes down as well. He gets doomed up. H5M takes the Infernal Blade. It's a 3 for him, though, and soon to be 4. The Juggernaut getting way too overzealous with his TP. Comes in and does literally nothing besides concede a death.
Well, that definitely looked like the old Cloud9 as Envy saw my TP in his bed. I do approve.
Oh my gosh, that is huge. This was a pretty even game before that, but it's about a 2,500 net worth exchange.
And the worst part is
coming out big.
The worst part is they use Ravage, right? So that mid-tier 1 tower, they could, go for it. Actually, because the respawn timer is relatively short, Bone 7 joins back in the fight.
Yeah, there you go.
Alright, I'll stop now with the
look at this
old
gold
Cloud
reference. It was nearly a 2,500 net worth lead for Vici, now completely zeroed out. I mean, that's just incredible.
Alright.
They were getting so much more out of this laning stage with the dedicated jungler. Although, that was space created for Burning. Maybe that was the plan.
It's created for Burning.
He's got a Midas now, so.
And he is the carry player, right?
Yep. ROTK initiated again. Freezing field from the CF. Not going to be enough, and ROTK will just barely survive. Pops the wand, and it'll keep him up.
Even though they get killed in Tidehunter, just like doing enough damage to drive him relatively far back.
Yeah.
Or he has to be somewhat careful. With that said, looks like CDEC is going to back out themselves and try to get that thing going. I'm very curious in terms of Queen of Pain's first item. We haven't seen it yet.
Yep, smoke rotation though towards the mid lane. Super gets the kill on Quap before the smoke can even get there. They'll end up falling, but not the worst trade. Going 1 for 1 and getting a solo kill to boot. Sure. We were asking what the build here for Tiny was in terms of the well, it looks like Blink.
timing. Blink and probably drums to follow up.
Yeah.
Dire's top
A nice
tower
early break just for some extra stats.
Uh-oh.
ROTK, open wound. Jade Frost from the Lich. Guardian says, we're not messing around this time, ROTK. You did.
Yep. Kill. So, similar to the last game, CDEC off to a relatively explosive start. Yao picks up a standing over a haste rune.
Dire's bottom
Probably going to
tower
save that
is
one for
under
Tiny, I
attack.
think.
Yeah,
Dire's
most likely.
structures are fortified.
Pretty scary rune to have on a Tiny at this stage. He's one creep kill away from having his maxed out combo when he hits his first big power spike. And looks like a tier 1 tower at the bottom lane will go down in favor of CDEC. Uncontested Lifestealer grabs the last hit.
Yep, Armlet already online.
Oh wow, that's pretty nice. Yeah, I feel like Armlet is a really good place for heroes like Lifestealer right now.
Yeah, especially when they don't have the Doom, right? Because if you have the Armlet turned on at Doom you, your HP is dropping pretty fast. That's probably not the interaction you're looking for, but
No, I think definitely not. But in general, it just opens up a lot for Lifestealer. You know, a hero that kind of traditionally is a little more passive early on until he really comes online, but this lets him fight. And now the way Infest works, he can really get active.
despite the fact that our TK has died a couple of times, he's got the mech almost finished. So, you know, the next couple of fights is going to get somewhat easier.
Yeah.
And we do have to remind ourselves that Crystal Maiden and Lich, these are not support heroes that scale amazingly into the mid and late game. So a lot of the burden of the team is really, you know, on the Doom, on the Tiny, and on the Lifestealer. So
Yeah.
last
Yeah,
game,
right.
you could have made the argument that, you know, Line is a fine late game support. This game, Crystal Maiden, you know,
Yeah.
questionable.
Now the Blink Dagger's up on Tiny. I think we're going to start seeing some Infest Bomb hunting, kind of like we saw in the last game with the Lion,
Right.
pardon me, and the Lifestealer. Now the Tiny can kind of play that role.
Well, the difference is, if you do it this game, you have two cores not farming, right? Last game with the Line taking up the Lifestealer, that's some sort of different story, because you still had a DK that's farming. So yes, they could go for plays like that, but it is a bigger risk if the if the gank doesn't work out here. Mid lane, Avatos, and there's that Frostbite preventing the blink. Nobody flinching to stop.
And that Queen of Pain just went full to 0 in the blink of an eye. Pretty easy pick off there. And that was the Blink Dagger reveal also. Haste Rune still in the bottle from a minute and a half ago.
And Queen's 4, she's got a Sage's Mask. I don't know, man. Oh, Rabbit actually has an Invis Rune. Ping out ROTK. If they kill him before he gets his, here we go, they're gonna open things up with open wounds, Avatar, Blink, everything dropped onto RTK. That, and no mech in sight.
You know, it would have almost been better if they had just slowed down that damage at the end and let him ravage. I'm not sure if he would have, but possibly thinking about it.
I think I saw the animation.
Yeah. But still a nice clean kill. Now they go on the Burning. Frostbite, follow up from Super. It's more than enough. Plenty of magic damage there with the freezing field to boot. CDEC just taking control of this game, Lumi. 10-2 at the 15-minute mark.
Oh, look at that mana regen on Crystal Maiden, because they did recently buff the level 4 mana regen.
Yeah,
was a plus 10 on Crystal Maiden this early in the game? Damn.
It's pretty crazy.
It looks like she has a clarity going on. Even more than that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. Now this tier 1 in the mid lane going to be under heavy assault. ROTK still has the Ravage, so they could try to take a fight here. HYM coming around the side. He is level 6, so they do have a Finger of Death to work with. Burning, still dead. He's going to respond now. He TPs that tier 1 for Omni Slash. Follow up stun from Lion. Super getting low. There's the ult from CTY. Secures the kill on Tiny. And CEC will push back. There is a Chain Cross on Guardian. He drops it as well as the Doom. Now ROTK in big trouble. Won't be able to Ravage this one. Burning goes in deep. Will finish off the Lich, but it's going to cost him his life. A 2-for-2. And again, CDEC control this tide pretty damn well. He is a great Doom target, of course. Well done by Yao.
That was an explosive team fight. I do have to say, I'm taking a peek at our preview monitor. I see a Mirana going for an Aghanims
Oh my.
on the other track game, so...
That's funny, we were just talking about that too. I'm curious how that works out. Forget about this game. What's IG Vitality up to?
We can't hop over, unfortunately, but you guys can at home, or you could turn on the multi-stream, or multi-Twitch stream.
Yeah.
I think is that the main Beyond the Summit stream?
Yep, twitch.tv/Beyond the Summit. The multicast to follow as many games as you possibly can.
Yeah.
So Juggernaut with a really interesting build here, Lumi. He went for the early Yasha, and now it looks like he's going to go back for the Battle Fury with the Perseverance.
Yeah, that's generally how you want to progress your item if you're looking to get a little bit more movement speed, attack speed in, to, you know, essentially walk a little bit faster, farm a little bit faster.
So you think that that's a worthy kind of stop-off before to delay the Battle Fury?
I think so.
Okay.
You might make the argument of picking up, let's say, Ring of Health early for the laning stage, because the HP regen is fairly nice. But yeah.
Well, again, we're going to see Yao on the Doom go for this early Vanguard. It seemed unconventional and crazy last game, but it ended up working really well. He was the front liner. He could just basically run in, A-click the ground, and there wasn't much they could do to slow him down. Then we're going to hold that thought as Rabbit about to fall him to a smoke gank here. He's just going to try to rage, TP home, and he lives easily.
Yeah.
Guess probably the worst hero to think gank in Shamaner, huh?
Well, I think they were looking to the Hex to open things up and chain stun with Ravage and Impale, but no such luck. Meanwhile, top lane here, Psylocke can spin TP, but well, actually cannot, because Super and Chris
Radiant's
Bacon coming in.
bottom tower is
We'll
under
have
attack.
Frostbite available, but
And they do also have Chain Frost, which can interrupt
Yep.
DP's Blade Fury.
that is also true. Second game in a row where CTY just have a very lackluster start. Avalon is coming in and he barely blinks out. Whew.
That was pretty close.
Yeah.
Radiant's
Although,
bottom tower
meanwhile in
is
the
under
jungle,
attack.
Sylar spinning around, kill on the Lich. Q playing around the Vici here, hits him with a Frostbite, and my god, easy setup for Super. The double damage Tiny just comes in, gives him the Whomping Willow. Meanwhile, in the bottom portion of the map, the line then falling to Rabbit. And now they're going to grab another one, it looks like. Boom, out on Burning. Rabbit trying to chase him down. Mech helps keep Burning up a little bit longer, but there's still some duration left. He actually survives through it. Nature's Attendants have already been used, but now the Frostbite's there, and Burning will fall to the urn. Now they turn their sight onto ROTK. Yao going to chase him down forward. Rabbit's there. He is the one that got tossed in. Open wounds, and ROTK will get ripped apart as the Tidehunter gets turned to scum.
Well, you know, I want to say that last game we saw Vici Gaming in a similar kind of deficit.
Radiant's
But
middle
unfortunately
tower
for
is
Vici
under
Gaming,
attack.
they don't really have that kind of comeback. Keep in mind the last game they had like a, you know, axe to initiate team fight, you have the eggs to follow through, but what is the initiation for Vici? They don't have anything.
They also had double Midas last game. I think that was the one thing that really allowed them to just say, you know what, we're not winning these team fights, but as long as we're farming, as long as we're allowing these items to pay off, we still have a chance. And I totally agree. I mean, the Battle Fury for Sylar is an item that can do that, but he doesn't even have it yet, and we're almost 20 minutes in. They've done a really good job rotating to pressure Sylar, and it seems like ever since he rotated to that bottom tier 1, got doomed and just died, his momentum's been kind of crippled.
Yep.
Radiant's
And of course
top
CTY
tower
has,
is under
you know,
attack.
what, Oblivion Staff.
Radiant's
That's great.
tower is
Yeah,
under
I mean,
attack.
working on the Orchid. I mean, we talked about Orchid and Bloodthorn a lot. Item that's so based around the timing, and at this rate, he's not going to have it at a point where it'll be super effective.
Yeah. Speaking of super, he is super effective. The Blink has what got him, I don't know, 3-4 kills now.
Something like that.
Yeah, Drums is already picked up, and that will help his intelligence pool as the mana is a little bit crippling for him
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah, something else that we were talking about earlier. Now Drum still gives you 9 int, even though it doesn't have any int build-up items. So I guess that is sort of a nerf to Drum, actually. Tiny can't just pick up that robe early on and benefit from that added mana pool. Now he has to complete the whole item to get that extra int.
Got that HP regen though,
Yeah, that's true. That ring of regen, though.
so useful for the tiny one. He has a bottle as well.
Tier 1 tower bottom lane gets finished off by Vici. ROTK will get credit for that one. Maybe looking for some arcane boots and then a blink dagger. Something like that. Can treat him well.
You can see that the way Vici's been playing for like the last couple of minutes is that they have to essentially walk as a party of 2 and 3. And that's allowing, let's say, a Doom to solo pick off a tier 1 tower top for free.
Yeah.
So they're just really respecting this Tiny, and they have to, because this Tiny's just been getting kills. And this is a fairly risky move, like going for the early Roche, the Roche sneak.
Yeah, now don't forget Roche was personally buffed a little bit. Yeah, he's tankier now from right click, well, from everything. He's got more HP. Spells do more damage, but you can't bring him down nearly as fast as you used to be able to, and Vici kind of get a stroke of luck there as they back out just as the invisible infested super walks into the pit. That was super close.
Scan missing in the jungle. Double scan missing.
That's interesting. Both teams,
See, now in this one, you can't tell me which one scan where.
yeah, no, you're right. I've got no idea.
Please,
It's,
Val, give me that identification.
It's kind of interesting how CDEC thought they were in the roach pit and they actually didn't scout it, so they're curious where Vici are right now. The vision mind game's happening. CDEC smoked up, looking to catch one. Sylar actually TP's out. Oh, they're so close to each other. It doesn't look like CDEC are going to be able to get there in time to catch one. And yeah, Vici will just back up.
Well, I do want to say there's a ray of hope for Vici. Like, the farming item is online for Stellar. And if this game goes long enough where, let's say, your High Hunter picks up double Ravage via Refresh Orb, then they have a fighting chance. But, you know, for the next 10 to 15 minutes, I think CDEC having the big item lead. I say heroes like Crystal Maiden as well as Lich aren't exactly the best support for the mid game, but they are picking up important items. Like Q has a Glimmer Cape. That's always a good item against the likes of a Juggernaut, Omni slashing you, or a line, you know, using Finger of Death on somebody.
Yeah. Now, we haven't talked too much about Burning here, but he has just been quietly farming away, very close to level 11, and more than halfway to the Aghanims. That's the point booster in the Ogre Club already in tow. So there's still a little ways before he starts getting super scary. He sees Fly get caught. He actually gets doomed as well. think that's some overkill from Yao, but they do still secure the kill.
Message sent. Tower is gonna get taken.
Dire's middle tower
I mean,
is under attack.
even though it's nice that Burning is getting all of this farm,
Dire's
first of all, the Queen of
structures
Pain is
are
dying a lot, so I don't think that makes up for it.
Yeah.
Secondly, I think the counter is already here. Like, you could have extra attack range, but what do you do when Rabbit walks up to you and open wounds and just like go on a raid?
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I think this might be actually a Hurricane Pike game, honestly.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's good in most games, but especially against the Lifestealer. There's just no other item that gives you that same reset, where he gets in your face and you go, oh wait, sorry, now we're 900 units apart from each other.
And you get hit.
Yeah, and you can still hit him. And what I like about that set is it's not a skill shot. Sometimes with Force Staff, you're facing the wrong way, you have that turn rate. With the Hurricane Pike, none of that is a factor. You just use the item on the hero, and you're safe for at least another stack or two.
Yep. Sylar actually gets a stack stolen, or he steals a stack, so that's pretty decent.
Yeah, that's nice.
He's up to, what, finishing his SNY if he wants it.
Actually out farming the Lifesteal now. He's really done a good job recovering. I'll move into a triple stack of Ancients here. They're actually going to do a lot of damage to him.
Oh, excuse me, he's actually going to go into a Mantisau. Which makes a bit more sense if you think about you could debuff like fighting open and whatnot.
Yeah. And again, the Desolator on Lifestealer, the exact same build we saw from Rabbit in Game 1 of this two-game series.
Sure. You know, when you're this far ahead, it don't really matter, especially getting some damage, some good items, you're looking pretty good. Again, CDEC picks up an early gem, looking to squeeze the map control away from Vici. We saw in Game 1, the just with the gem pick it there.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with the Manta this game. I think it's good stuff for Sylar. But where do you go from here? When does Echo Saber become a tempting item for the Juggernaut?
I'm not too sure. You know, I've never tried that on the hero, so I think a large part of it is whether it works through the Omni Slash, like we were kind of pondering early. Maybe at this point in the game he's thinking about maybe he needs a little bit more survivability. Diffusal comes into question as well. You know, Sylar knows best, so we'll see.
Yep, that's true. Time will tell.
Yeah.
4 hero smoke now from CDEC in their jungle. Everybody except the Doom part of this cavalry. And looks like this is just a smoke into the road pit. They'll leave the bounty rune there for now. And they're going to try to take out this big boy. Dire team does not seem too suspicious. And right now, they're really lacking on vision. Dire have one ward down. It's in the top lane. Oh, pardon me. They have a lot of wards down. They're just near the runes. So they have a ward right here, but they're not nearby.
Can't see smoke.
Yep.
And obviously you can't scan into the Roshan pit either. It won't give you the detection.
That would be stupid. But they do circle the Roche pit. Looks like they were at least suspicious, and they just hand it over. That's an Aegis going the way of Rabbit.
Tome of Knowledge not being purchased.
Uh-oh.
What's happening?
Lumi does not approve.
Vici is on top of theirs, and they need it because they're getting wrecked.
And
but
CDEC has one available.
Yeah. I mean, I think their support is sufficiently leveled by killing stuff. Actually, Lich is not leveling yet.
Yeah. They would push him to at least level 10.
Yeah,
be worth it.
So, similar game plan as we saw in Game 1, right? CDC is just looking for a pick with the Doom and whatnot. And Doom does have the Blink Dagger. In fact, he has the Blade Mail this game available. Much better against the likes of Queen Pain, Enchantress. I mean, what do you do as Enchantress, like, when the Blade Mail's turned on?
You just run. That's it. I mean...
And that's job accomplished for the Blade Mail, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she, as you talked about before, notorious low on starting HP, and, well, she has the Ags pretty close now, so she's not super squishy, but still not very beefy either. Once you start returning that damage, she'll fall pretty quick. The Orchid has also come out on Queen of Pain. Her Aghanims, or maybe a BKB with that Ogre Club, more likely. Still under construction. Yao, looking for a Doom, perhaps? Not quite.
I saw the hand lift up, man. It was close.
Yeah. Though the Aghanims is now out on Tiny. So he is getting to this point where he's got the Whomping Willow, he's got the big damage, and he's also got the farming tool.
Alright. The Echo Saber Dream, is it happening?
I think so. I mean, what else would you go for next item here? Maybe BKB?
So, without Echo Saber being the game, the Tinies used to go for AC, sometimes Moonshard if you feel like you're really far ahead. Well, Avatar's coming out here, going on ROTK, and wow. Where did he go?
That is an absurd amount of damage. You know, if that's like a support or something, I totally get it, but that's a Tide Hunter with a mech and maxed out Kraken Shell, and he just evaporates. To be fair, he doesn't have a cloak or anything to mitigate magic damage, but...
You know, looking at how that you know, engagement wins, if you want to call it engagement. Do you even need Echo Saber? Maybe going up for high ground, just AC is just flat out better, right?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Although
Or
actually,
minus armor.
maybe not, like, you do hit the tower twice with Echo Saber as well.
And they've already got the Deso for minus armor on the tower, so there's some diminishing returns there. They get the tier 3. Glyph is available for the Dire side. They'll use it now as the melee barracks are under assault. TP on the way, Tide coming up in about 5 seconds. He does not have a buyback, so they will have to wait for the respawn timer. And of course, Aegis of the Immortal is still in the hands of this Radiant side on Rabbit.
No, it's a Yasha. He's buying Yasha.
So Manta Tiny, I guess?
Not like this. Where's my Echo Saber?
Interesting.
I mean, Manta, SMY, whatever, like just kind of some sort of movement speed, attack speed. It all makes sense, and it's great on the Tiny.
Yeah.
But let's be real, we all want to see Echo.
Yeah. Alright, well, we'll see how it works out for him. 2 minutes left on the Aegis, so it looks like CDEC will try to pick another fight here. They smoke up, they kind of bait with the Tiny. He's the only one not included in it.
Okay, there's a double damage on Juggernaut's bottle.
Uh-oh.
Or CTY's bottle, but... No, but the Doom's gonna come out.
Oh,
Dead.
Sylar, he's completely dead. ROTK has the Ravage, but they're not even going to use it. They don't even try to mech him to keep him alive. They just cut their losses, let the Jug go. And now I think CDEC just go right up the mid and try and finish off this lane of barracks, knowing that the Glyph is down.
Jug does have buyback available, so... They might get a surprise kind of blink Ravage into a buyback, and he does have the double damage.
Yeah, he didn't
So
use
they
it there.
can turn it around.
Good point. So damage right into the melee barracks. Yao says, forget about you guys. I'm going to go for the ranged barracks.
Alright, Juggernaut's teleporting in from the behind. He is trying to get that Omni Slash off, but it's gonna have to back off, so...
I think CDC are happy with that. Force the buyback and now just retreat, go back to farming, knowing that he's wasted a lot of that
Radiant's
hard-earned
bottom
Battle
tower
Fury
is
gold.
under attack.
I don't know,
A
man.
safe play.
It seems like Vici is just on the back foot every single game.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, there's no double Midas to carry them back.
Yeah. It just doesn't feel like the Juggernaut's Battle Fury is going to be enough. I mean, he's still farming pretty well. He can keep tempo with the Lifestealer, but I don't know if the Juggernaut alone is going to be enough here. No one else is really farming that crazy. Burning will transition into more of a carry towards the late game, but he's still pretty far away from that. Hand Midas, Aghanim Scepter, Brown Boots is all he's got. He has picked up a casual cloak now for a little more survivability, but his damage output still leaves something to be desired.
It's kind of ironic that you have the two best carry players, arguably in the world, and they're gonna lose the late game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you know.
We'll see. It's not over yet, Lumi. I haven't given up hope completely.
So we are gonna see Doom moving to Shivas, which again is just like more frontline, right? He blinks in Scorcher of Shivas, and you just can't do anything. They're gonna try to make a jump on Rabbit.
They hit him with the Orchid. Rabbit from ROTK
Okay.
only hits on 2. They do bring Lifestealer, but now Chain Frost tosses around a lot of heroes. Jumps into the creep whip.
It is 6.
It is a 45 though. Tiny was not there, so CDEC will not be too eager to take a fight. He also does not have a TP, so he's going to have to do it the old-fashioned way if he wants to join this party.
Actually, South does have that Omni, so maybe they try to threaten high
Radiant's
ground and at
bottom
least
tower
force the
has
buyback.
fallen.
This is Lowski, knowing that Sylar's already bought back. If he gets here, then CDEC could just go right up the mid. Tiny's already pushing that lane out. He did bury himself out of TP, so he will be able to go back, rejoin his team.
Sylar desperately wanting Lifestealer to hit that buyback button. Just ain't happening.
I don't think they're going to have to force it here. Even Chain Frost is down as well. They still have Doom. They still have Freezing Field. A lot of ways to buy time.
Maybe backdoor to T1?
Still pretty healthy. Looks like they'll be able to...
Man, just dodging from work there. Glyph is gonna come out here. Maybe a TP into the play to run things out. He is back in a couple of seconds.
Not going to be able to TP into that here one, though. Just a little bit late.
Dire's top tower.
Sylar on the run.
Uh-oh.
Doom.
Oh, he did spin off the Purge, so that's pretty good. Nice Impale to slow things down. But here comes the Tiny. Tossed back to the Doom. And where's the healing stick? It's coming back in, keeping it healthy for a little bit, but taking way too much damage. Here comes the Sonic Wave, just tickling everybody. CTY has to blink back out. Enchantress all in the meantime, high ground, hanging away, but not doing nearly enough damage. It's going to be retreat time for Vici Gaming.
Wow.
And here comes the blink daggers of CDEC.
It just feels like Vici don't have any damage here, Luby. Another Purge used on Burning. It's going to be slow to swing that fiery sword, but they're just going to leave the Enchantress. So now they go for HYM. Super's just going to chase him down, and all of Vici Gaming getting one up here except the Queen of Pain. She was able to blink back towards the well. All of CDEC still surviving. I don't know if Vici will tap out quite yet, but it's starting to get close to GG territory here, Lumi. That's another 3,200 net worth exchange. CDEC just exploding with momentum.
Yeah. The only thing going for them there is that the creep wave was at the river, so yeah, they get themselves like a good 20 seconds. But Tidehunter is responding in a couple seconds. He has Ravage.
In 10, yeah.
The thing is, I think this Rax is going to go down now.
They do have a glyph that'll buy him a few more seconds here. Just about enough time for that Ravage to come up, but what's the follow-up damage? Sonic Wave still on cooldown for another 70. And I think they're going to be forced to watch this mid lane go down. There is a tier 2 standing in the top lane.
Okay. ROTK blinks in. To be fair, Anchor Smash, you know, does remove base damage by a big percent on Tiny. So, you know, what is it, 40% reduction on 300?
Yeah, it might even be more than that. 60%.
60%, okay. That's a lot, right?
Yeah. No, it's quite good. And he knows that he can kind of blink in and survive in scenarios like that. Now, Lumi, an item that we haven't talked about at all since we started casting is Hooded Defiance. That got a big buff now, just straight up, one less item required to make it. And it's still just as good as it used to be, still has the active. You think that item's going to start to rise in popularity? Like, I feel like for the Tide, that could be an item where he could just jump in like that, use his Hooded Defiance, and not have to worry about getting blown up by magic damage.
Yeah, with Hood is, it's always dependent on the enemy lineup. One of the most common time that you see Hood purchase is versus... Why are they scanning the Roche? Didn't read that patch log, man.
I mean, I guess if you scan it kind of like here...
well, they do see people walking.
It shows you if people are in this window, but yeah, that was a weird scan.
Alright. But I was saying that one of the most common hero that you got Hood against is the Earth Spirit. And Earth Spirit got a pretty big nerf against him, in my opinion, so... We don't see Earth Spirit being picked as much.
Which do you mean, the movement speed nerf or the boulder?
Yeah,
Super jumps in. Now BKB from CTY into Ravage from ROTK. Ravage still healthy as ever. He's just going to continue fighting. The ult from CTY just doesn't do enough. Tidehunter buys back right away, as does the Queen of Pain. This could be a final fight for Vici. We'll see if he can turn things around. Q will be the first victim on the side of CDEC. Guardian moves into the true line, tries to TP and he will interrupt it. They'll get another pick off onto the Lich.
And they will get Aegis, I believe. Is it spawning soon? Oh no, never mind.
So a 2 for 2, but they have to burn 2 buybacks to make that happen. So in the end, it is actually still a small favor for CDEC.
I mean, they burn 2 buyback on Core to get a Crystal Maiden. Oh, hold that thought. Crystal Maiden now buys back, goes on ROTK.
So does the Lich. Double buyback.
Okay.
CDEC are saying, hey, they bought back. If we can win a team fight here, we can just go straight up the mid and cripple their base.
Uh-oh. Here comes the blink forward. RT taking a ton of damage. Impale will hit, and here comes the Juggernaut. And there goes the Juggernaut because he cannot handle Rabbit. Meanwhile, Bird in the backline getting out of the damage. He gets average tossing. He's going to get cleaved down by the Crystal Maiden ultimate as well as Tiny. And this looks to be the beginning of the end, or the end of the end.
Work it on Yao. Is he going to be able to survive through this? No! The Juggernaut has the damage, but it's going to cost Vici so much to get that kill. They've already lost Jugs. CTY will have to use his BKB again. That's an 8-second BKB charge to try to make it out here. Blink up in a couple seconds, and Magic Immunity will allow him to survive. But now Jug in the grave without a buyback for 60 seconds, and this should be a free Roche for CDEC. He's going to come up just about right as they walk into the pit. Oh no! Juked. Well,
that was a Roshan juke.
It really was. That's brutal.
All right, I was talking about the boulder speed being much slower down. It's actually quite noticeable. Even though it's like 1200 to 900 movement speed, you're like, oh, that's not that big of a deal. But
that's like a 30% difference, man. That's pretty big.
Pretty big. I noticed it in game. Normally, like, you see the boulder coming, but you can't dodge it, but now you can.
Yeah.
So.
And they took, I think, -10 from his movement speed, which actually does hurt. Like 305 to 295 or something.
That's not as big as...
Windlace kind
of compensates
man. For it, but still, I mean, movement speed is one of the... I don't know the right way to articulate it. One of the change that is, it looks minor, but really big.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, 5 movement speed, who cares?
It's like the difference between getting an extra attack or not,
Yeah, exactly. So Roche is on now. It's been scattered by CDEC. Vici have everybody alive, and they're congregating around the pit, ready to make a stand if they think CDEC can commit. There is a Ravage available here. Actually, all of the ultimates are available, so we could see a team breakout. Ooh, so now from CDEC. As Vici just run right in there. Rain wards minimal. Now jumps in, Doom onto CTY, not a bad thing. Now Super jumps in, Jay Frost as well, no to intercept it. RTK connects the entire team, but it just doesn't matter. The follow-up's not there. Shane does so much damage. Sylar goes bouncing around to the ultimate, but now they're just going to turn and try and chop him down. Finger of Death doesn't even secure the kill on the Q. It just couldn't get worse for Vici at the point. GG gets called as they get wiped up. All 3 heroes dead without buyback. They've had enough, and it will be a 2-0 for CDEC.
Yeah, last game we saw Vici losing, and what we said was kind of like, it wasn't a draft error, it was more of execution, because Vici was, you know, you can make the argument ahead at some point in the game. This game, I think it was a drafting loss for Vici Gaming, because how many times do we see a 4-5 man Ravage? And how many fights, despite the 4-5 man Ravage, nothing happened?
Yeah. No, it seemed like, okay, good Ravage, and then where's the follow-up damage?
Exactly, there was no damage, and that